Welcome once again to the Culture Podcast. It was game week 3 and it was actually a terrible one for our Arsenal fans. But now we see the way the game week 3 went. It was quite a very shaky one, and we're going to just talk a little bit about that. And having on the show today is on the left, Mr. Sam is a new face on the podcast today. So he will help
My
us.
very good friend. Welcome to the podcast. Yeah.
And as usual, we have Mr. Matt here. So, like, it is actually a Chelsea and a Man U fan. So, we expect it to be a very brief and interesting one. So, let's start with the very first match of game week 3. It was a controversial one. Arsenal fans will not be happy with that result. Arsenal
You won't be
Brighton.
happy with it.
Of course, I'm not happy with it. So, Mr. Sam, Arsenal Brighton.
Arsenal Brighton, we expected it to be a very tough one, a very competitive one, because the Brighton side, we've known them to be a very, very organized side when it comes to counter attack and their gameplay too. They play a very, very high level football too. And Arsenal, on the other hand, though the red card was controversial because of the nature of at which the red card was given, but then the rule still remains the rule. You don't kick a dead ball.
That no concern me. All I know is say they cheat Arsenal fan. That one I'm for sure. They cheat Arsenal fans. So of course,
I think we are trashed this matter in the last episode.
Yeah, we did that. Although I know air out more. So I'll say Aston Villa, Leicester City. Mr. Max, what do you say about that?
I won't really say much about the game. It was what I expected. The result I expected. I think in last when we're trying to analyze the game week, I gave Aston Villa a win or draw against Leicester. Aston Villa is the bigger side, the better side in Premier League. Leicester is just coming from the relegation zone. I expected a goal from them because they're playing at home. So Aston Villa, they deserved their win in Emery's side.
Yeah,
Because it was a good game for them.
Yeah, a shocking draw, I would say for myself, for Nottingham Forest and Wolves, Mr. Sam. A shocking draw. I expected Wolves to commit more and then bring out the 3 points, but it was actually very hard for them.
Though for me, I never expected Wolves to have won that game because Nottingham Forest is a very strong side and they happen to be at home too.
I feel like
So I expected a win plus draw.
I feel like Nottingham Forest is good. Just by the beginning of the season, they will soon go down.
They will soon go down. Yeah.
The initial gra.
Of course. And Ipswich coming from the relegation and now into the league. Now they held their very first draw with Fulham.
Ipswich, Fulham. Fulham is a big side in Premier League to some extent. Yeah.
Can do that way.
Playing against Ipswich Town, I think Ipswich has been able to pull a good game so far. I think I said it the last time.
Yeah.
First goal against Man City and everything. Coming down to play with Fulham, a 1-1 draw at home. Beautiful game. Ipswich they've gone beyond my expectations in Premier League so far. So I think it was just like Luton Town. We will still see them going back to relegations on though, but they pulled a good game.
Okay, a surprising one for Everton Bournemouth. A very surprising one. Seeing Everton losing that game was a surprise for me.
I think that was the shocker for the weekend.
It
Because
was.
at 87 minutes, you're winning 2-0, and at 90 plus, you're already 3-2. And no one ever expected that result. If you're giving $1 million to bet on Bournemouth at that time, I bet you would not.
Even my 5,000 naira for that one stick out. So it gets as
Bournemouth had like about in the middle of the match they were like giving 11 odds to beat Everton.
Imagine that.
At 86, I guess it should be close to 1,000 odds or more.
Just 1,000 naira and you'll be smiling to the bank.
Yeah.
Well, for Brentford, Southampton.
I already said the Brentford is straight in over Southampton.
I actually said that before the match.
Over Southampton. They are a bigger side, the better side. They pull off a good game. They pull off a good game when they meet the underdogs in
In the
the
league.
league. So yeah, pretty much. I didn't even expect Southampton to score a goal. I thought they were going to keep a clean sheet at home, but then Southampton had their one goal. So a good game.
Nice one. Man City, West Ham, the City boys.
Man City has always been big boys. We know that.
Yeah.
Whenever you see Man City, you see a win.
Mm.
So we just have to go with the trend because Man City has always been the one. And I'm also expecting the 5th Premier League title.
That's a funny one.
Nah.
Funny enough, for this Man City, if you have followed them, they always do concede.
Yeah,
Yes.
they always concede. For
They always do.
Manchester
Always
City concedes goals.
So
You can't take the
Goal.
3 points away from them.
Okay, or some teams that are actually capable of doing that, we expect them to take the 3 points. Chelsea six whatever, and now they are here with Crystal Palace, and it was a 1-0 draw.
He has
I
nothing
don't
to
want
say about it.
to. I don't want to go over. He's my very good friend. He's my
Yes.
very good friend.
Yes.
I don't want to say too much. But Chelsea played a good game against Crystal Palace, but a 1-1 draw. It was not really it for me. I was
Let's
looking at
let's
it.
not let's not let's not say, let's not put it aside that Crystal Palace won Man U last season 4-0 at home.
Last season.
4-0 at home,
Last
comfortably.
season.
Yeah.
They had the possession, they had the shot on target, they had everything.
Last season. Last
Last season can actually be still attached to the
No, but
Premier League
I
because
still
it is
feel-
part of the Premier
Yeah,
League.
it is part of
So
the
you had
Premier
a
League.
4-0
loss against Premier.
I
Against
still
Crystal
feel good
Palace.
about the Chelsea team because the
Still
Chelsea
feel
team is building something.
Mm.
Let's just wait for it.
You know,
Well,
I like my guy. He did believe there is a future.
There's a future.
There's
And in
transformation.
future, then you find yourself in the Conference League. Well, we hope not to see such Tottenham trailing and a loss against Newcastle United.
Mm.
What will you say about that match?
Now I could say Tottenham is a struggling side because
struggling side.
we saw their game against Leicester City. A team that is just coming from relegation and holding you to a 1-1 draw at home. And now we saw what they played last weekend against Newcastle.
So
Newcastle was at home and it was a 2-1 win. So
I
I feel like Tottenham are still trying
I won't really call Tottenham a struggling side. I won't really call
That's
Tottenham.
what I would call
Okay.
them.
Left for me, Leicester is actually a Premier League standard football club. Leicester City.
So having
Playing
that
against a
one
side like
draw
Aston Villa.
was
Aston Villa was they had Aston Villa scored the first goal and they equalized in 1-1. They
Yes.
played that 1-1 on a stretch. The Aston Villa got to score the second goal.
yeah.
So they've been able to pull up a good game. I feel like Leicester are just trying to get back their self in the league. So they can come down to Tottenham playing a side like Newcastle. Newcastle had already lost their streak. They're always scoring goals in numbers and everything like the Man City side. So I was expecting to see a lot of goals from Newcastle, honestly, being that they were playing at home. So, but I won't call Tottenham a struggling side. We are going to see more games. The league is just starting. It's just 3 weeks. So
Yeah. Yeah.
let's
A
hope
poor
for
one
that.
though from Tottenham and looking at the biggest game of the weekend. You get us a bit
I
more.
can't even get anything to say about this. You can't have anything to say about this. You can't have anything to say about this.
A 3-0.
We predicted, remember, in our last weekend show, we
4 goals.
predicted a 4-0 win
Yes.
and 3-0. There is no difference.
No
So
difference.
if you
There's
are
a difference.
staying
One more goal. One more goal made the difference.
You're smiling to the back.
One more
also.
goal made the difference. Okay, funny enough, how against Manchester United, Liverpool kept a clean sheet. They are the only side that have kept a clean sheet in the Premier League.
In the opening
In the opening games for
Yeah.
the Premier League, they've not considered a goal against any club. Yeah, I'm playing Manchester United at Old Trafford. I honestly
Man
didn't.
United was a very poor side.
No,
Very,
it
very
was a
poor.
very poor side for the game.
The
It was a
possession
very
was
poor
lost
side.
and
Possession was
everything.
lost. The attack was poor. Playing. I think one thing Ten Hag just put out during the transfer window was the idea of a goalkeeper and a striker. Those were like the two major things. I didn't really see need for reinforcement in your midfield or really too much reinforcement in your defense. The major thing we're supposed to be looking at was your goalkeeper and your strike. Now Hoyland is on injury and we're playing
Do you remember this saying?
how many goals did that guy miss?
If evidence no dey, you go
explain.
explain.
And they explain evidence
The
day.
evidence, no
No
evidence.
evidence.
Okay, it's actually an
But
interesting.
it was a beautiful weekend.
It
a
was
beautiful weekend.
an
Goals
interesting
came
weekend.
in and everybody kept scoring. It was a beautiful weekend. I expected more goals from Chelsea's game though.
No,
I
I
expected more
still
goals from Chelsea's game.
respect my Chelsea team, and I'm still hoping to see the best from them.
And I respect Manchester United. And I hope
Now
to
this
see the best
team-
from
Yeah,
them.
it's that.
And I hope to see the best from- You go still play Liverpool now. You go play Liverpool.
Everybody go
You go touch
respect. Everybody go respect in team. A beautiful one. Now we just let's go to the standing. Let's see how it actually looks now on the table. It's a beautiful one. Like you
Yeah.
said, Man City, they're going with the 9 points and same thing. They shared almost the same thing with Liverpool, but having Brighton and Arsenal on the same side. But do you think this Brighton can hold this position, or we expect a fall from Brighton?
Yeah, there'll be a fall.
Brighton cannot hold
There'll be a
that
fall.
position. We're expecting Arsenal to step up, but Brighton is definitely going to finish among the first 5.
among the first
Brighton
five.
first
Yes.
five.
Among
Wow.
the first five at the end of the season.
So you're dishing out
Wow.
Man U because if you should be calling the first
Man
five,
is
I
not
know
even in the top
Man
10.
City,
We don't have Man in
Liverpool,
the top 10.
Arsenal, then
Chelsea's not in the top
the
10
next
either.
two
I hope you noticed that.
should be Aston
Chelsea's
Villa.
not in the top 10 either. Well, I'll predict for top five: Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Aston Villa, and I think Newcastle might step up against Brighton.
And he's
Newcastle
not
might still
mentioning, he's
step
not
up
mentioning
against,
Man U, which means
against
he doesn't
Brighton.
believe in Man U too.
No, you
No.
think Chelsea is going to step up to the top five? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. The Premier League, those two clubs are not stepping up into the top five.
Okay, now let's just come and see your Chelsea and the Manchester United. Where you
Chelsea's
find
above,
yourself
Chelsea's
now,
above Man U. You can't
11th on the table
Yeah.
and 14th on the table, with just a point difference.
The game just a point.
A point difference.
Not
Game
just
is
a
just
point
a-
difference. Let's look at goal
started.
difference.
It's
You
just
have
a
minus
point.
3 already.
It's just a point.
And I have 3 goals.
You don't. You have two.
I have 3.
You have two. That's Tottenham.
That's Tottenham.
Please be careful. Anyways, like I was saying, the game is just starting. It's just a point difference, right? Even if it on goal difference, on goal tally, we are a bit poor, but in 1 point difference will make us step ahead of Chelsea in the Premier League. I'm not competing with Chelsea in the
So
Premier
are
League.
you trying to say that Chelsea's your EPL?
Yeah?
Yes, Chelsea. Going ahead of Chelsea. Is the
Yeah,
EPL title
we
for this
definitely.
season.
No, it's not. That's not my FPL title. That's not my FPL title. But we'll definitely finish ahead of Chelsea. We always do.
Okay,
We always do.
it is
We have to
actually
push them to the.
is
conference
actually
last
is
season.
actually something you
just
know
have to
about
stick to this position
about the
now.
Premier League table. You can't start predicting in the first 5 matches. You can't
Exactly.
even predict the Premier League table in the next 20 matches, because anything can happen. Points has been used to actually clinch the
Yeah,
trophy and all that.
I think we should
So-
look at the bottom side.
Yeah, the
Who
bottom
should
side
expecting to go into the relegation zone? Everton.
is quite poor. A poor one for Everton, sitting on the bottom of the table.
I think my
Yeah.
last 3 would be Everton, Southampton, and probably
Ipswich. I was going to go for that. So
Yeah.
Everton, Southampton,
The
Ipswich.
last 3 at the end of the season.
Those would be the relegation side.
I don't think
Wolves
can
will still step
will
up.
still step up.
Wolves will still step up.
Well, we expect
Slightly
that.
above the relegation
We
zone.
expect that, but I still have a fresh memory of Everton escaping the relegation zone for last season. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that they beat your expectation and they go above the relegation zone. So it's going to be a nice one. Although we are going to be sitting back, but we are not going to leave you guys without no traffic yet, because we are going to have an international break. And it's not going to be a sweet one for football loving fans.
And for Man U fans too as well.
Okay, so we'll keep it engaged, and we hope to see you once again next time on the show. It's a happy one, and from all of us in the house, thank you and have a nice one.